What if you got a voicemail from yourself, sent from 3 years in the future? It's exactly what happened to Laura Benson. The message was in her own voice, stamped with a date 3 years from now. It came with a terrifying warning: do not open the door. We got our hands on the file, analyzed it, and what we found in the final second will make your skin crawl. On March 12th, Laura Benson's phone buzzed. Caller ID: unknown. But the voicemail timestamp was the impossible part. March 12th, 3 years into the future. She listened. The voice was hers, but it sounded older, brittle with panic. Don't open the door, it pleaded. Shaken, Laura did the only thing she could think of. She sent the audio file to the police, hoping they could explain what she was hearing. The message was short, but every word felt heavy with dread. It was a warning from a future she didn't understand, a future that was apparently trying to save her from something. The officers who first heard it were skeptical, but the fear in her voice was too real to ignore. They agreed to look into it, thinking it was just a sophisticated prank. They were wrong. The forensic audio team got to work immediately. First, they ran a voice print analysis. The results were chilling. The panicked voice on the recording was a perfect match to Laura Benson's baseline voice characteristics. It wasn't an impersonator, it was her. Next, they examined the file's metadata, hoping to find a simple explanation like a doctored timestamp. But the data was clean. The file was created and uploaded to the telecom server with that future date. This wasn't a simple hack on her phone. It would require manipulating the core servers of the phone company. It's an almost impossible feat. The message itself grew more disturbing with each listen. Do not open the door. If you already opened it, run. The team decided to analyze the background noise, hoping for a clue. Beneath her desperate voice, they isolated two distinct sounds: a persistent, low-frequency oscillation, like a deep hum, and the faint sound of distant chimes. These chimes struck at precisely 2:02 a.m. What did it mean? Was it a clock? A warning bell? The case was getting stranger. The investigation was hitting a wall. The voice was real, the timestamp was unexplainable, and the background noises were a mystery. But one junior analyst decided to try something different. Instead of just listening to the audio, he ran a full spectral analysis, converting the sound waves into a visual graph. That's when he saw it. Hidden beneath Laura's voice was an ultra-high-frequency carrier wave, completely inaudible to the human ear. He isolated this signal and slowed it down. As the frequency dropped, the signal resolved into distinct patterns of long and short bursts. It was Morse code. Spent hours decoding the fragmented message, piecing together the letters. What emerged was not a word, but a string of numbers. It was a set of geographic coordinates. He brought his findings to the lead investigator, who was already bogged down with other, more conventional cases. The coordinates were dismissed as a dead end, likely just random noise from the signal, and the team moved on, leaving the digital ghost in the machine. But the analyst couldn't let it go. On his own time, he plugged the coordinates into a mapping system. They pointed to a single location, a derelict, condemned townhouse in a forgotten part of the city. The building had been gutted by a fire decades ago and was scheduled for demolition. Digging into the property records, he uncovered its history. Before the fire, the townhouse had housed a private research lab. The lab's focus: experimental time-sync communication. The project was abruptly shut down by federal regulators for major safety violations and unethical protocols. The lab director, the brilliant but reckless mind behind the project, had died under mysterious circumstances shortly after. The trail seemed to end: their burned-out building, a defunct project, and a deceased scientist. The coordinates led to a ghost story, another dead end. Or so it seemed. But before we play the voicemail at half speed and reveal the embedded code, you need to hear what Laura's neighbor recorded that night. The police, following up on every possible lead, canvassed Laura's neighborhood. One neighbor, an amateur sound recordist who left his equipment running overnight to capture city soundscapes, had something, his recording from the night. Laura received the voicemail, picked up a strange sequence of knocks on a nearby door at exactly 2:02 a.m. When investigators compared the cadence of the knocks, 3 quick taps, a pause, then 2 slow ones, it was a perfect match to the rhythm of the chimes in the voicemail. They brought in a retired telecom engineer to review the file. He explained how timestamp spoofing could work, but he was adamant. It's impossible on a closed, audited server like the one the phone company used. The police IT team confirmed it. Their servers were secure. There had been no breaches, no unauthorized access. The voicemail hadn't been faked. It had been sent. The how remained a mystery, but the what was becoming terrifyingly clear. The analyst, now convinced he was onto something, went back to the original voicemail. He applied a sophisticated filter to remove the high-frequency carrier wave entirely and slowed the recording to a crawl. As the distortion cleared, a new layer of audio emerged, hidden deep within the file. It was a single, crystallized whisper, a name, Elias, followed by a chilling phrase. "It will come through the hinges." Laura's blood ran cold. She walked to her front door, inspecting it closely. And there it was, a tiny hairline crack in the doorframe, right next to the top hinge. A crack she swore wasn't there that morning. She barely slept. Then, at exactly 2:02 a.m., her doorbell rang. Just once, her heart pounded as she checked the security camera feed. There was no one there. The porch was empty. But as she replayed the footage, she saw it. For a single frame, right at the edge of the door, the image wavered. A brief vertical distortion like heat rising from pavement, and then it was gone. 2 days later, Laura Benson moved out. She left most of her belongings behind, packed a single bag, and disappeared. The police officially closed the case, labeling it an unsolved anomaly. But here's the final terrifying detail. On the exact future date from the voicemail's timestamp, a new file appeared on the telecom company's server, linked to Laura's account. It was created at 2:03 a.m. It's completely empty. Let me ask you, if someone could send you a voicemail from your future, would you listen? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into the unknown. Thanks for watching.